everyone. So we are back for day 8 programming here at the 2018 Twin Cities Film Fest, hosted by the Shops at West End and the beautiful Showplace Icon Theater. We are upstairs as we have been all 8 days so far on our Skin Rejuvenation sponsored red carpet. I'm lucky enough to get to be your host today, and we are kicking off our late afternoon evening program with a. I want to stick with this being a comedy, because you really hit a lot of comedic elements, but it's Prodigal Dad.
Yep.
And our filmmaker is here from Canada, Robert Wenzak, and so nice of you to join us. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us. Your film it's an adventure, and I love that it's a role reversal, because it's about, you call it a coming of age story, but it's about a role model that is actually ending up learning from his kids.
So glad you got that. That's what the whole movie's about. That's the whole thing.
Hey,
Yeah.
Very easy to understand that and get that from your film. You got a fantastic performance out of your lead, your dad character,
Brad Dryborough.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
And
fantastic.
talk to us about putting the comedic elements into this and pulling this story out, because it really and focusing on that role reversal too that you just mentioned.
Doing a comedy is hard. Like, when is it funny? Like, when you're sitting there and you're in the editing suite or you're filming it and you're having those moments to see, is that funny? Is that funny? Maybe that's funny. I think it might be funny. And that's kind of the process that we go through.
Yeah.
But as we're going through it, we really try to construct the narrative, the arc of the story, and spend a lot of time on the script. I was lucky enough to have 2 story editors on them. One is actually my partner and spouse, Catherine Montague.
Okay.
So she was as tough on me as any partner can ever be in editing a script.
Bearing out the best in you, good.
Yeah. So she was tough, and that was one of the key things, was that role reversal. So where the daughter becomes the parent and the parent is the kid, and they both have to figure out who they are in the wake of this change in their lives.
Yep. Writing comedy, had you done it before?
I have done some.
Okay.
Yeah, done a lot of editing comedy and pieces. Way back in the day, I made a short called The Adventures of Johnny B. Argyle's Sock that nobody has seen. But it was the story of a sock that loses his brother in a terrible dryer incident, and so he walks the earth to find him.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like a great premise. I think people would like to see that as well. So can we talk for a minute about Brad and his performance?
Sure.
Obviously, very naturally funny, great comedic timing. How'd you find him, and what was it like working with him as you two brought those comedic elements out?
I kind of lucked out with Brad. He came to the project really, really late. We had somebody else that was going to originally do the piece, and then things shifted as they do, and Brad and I connected, and I knew his work from some previous stuff he'd done. And then he took the script and he read it, and he called me literally 20 minutes later and said, "I love it. I want to do it."
Great.
So and he dove in, and he was a stallion on set. He was a ferocious leader, and he helped guide a lot of the more inexperienced actors.
Yep. And such poise and talent and experience, but he really got the beats of this character that was internally beaten down and stunted in terms of some growth development areas, portraying that so well. If I could, I'd love to dive in a little bit with you more about your work, because I think it's so awesome. One, we don't have a lot of Canadian films that get to our film festival, so very proud to have you.
Thank you for having me.
And representing the Maple Leaf. Also, you, in your regular working professional life, you teach this stuff. So how great is it that you are putting a project like this together to showcase your work, because being able to talk the talk,
right,
that's a big deal, and that is a big influence on your students. If you wouldn't mind talking about working at the Art Institute in Vancouver.
Sure. Well, now it's LaSalle College, so there's been a little shift there that's happened, it's great. I mean, I think when people are learning to make movies and tell stories, it's a pretty daunting thing. And just going through the journey myself, this was actually a thesis film for my master's degree.
Really?
So that's what this turned into. So I did it through Ring Dance, and this was my my final piece. So I was in school doing it, and I thought, if I can do this, then I can really guide people to go through those steps.
Absolutely, and that's on your mantle, and you can talk to your students about, hey, this is what I did to earn my next step in your filmmaking. You also do music video, you also do commercial, and you've done a ton of short films, editing, and on all parts parts of the process. So, Robert Wenzak, so great of you to be here with us. You're bringing such a unique project. We love getting great comedy here at the Film Fest, and you are a huge part of that. We got to talk to him right in front of the Prodigal Dad. Look for it after the fest. We get to premiere it in the United States here.
Midwest?
Midwest, yes, we will take that. That's awesome. I'm lucky enough to get to be your host tonight, Doug Sidney. We'll be back. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.